and welcome to LexTalk World Talk Show presented by Clickaway Creators. Today we have Mr. Atul Gopal Krishna Juvle, who's with us, and he is a qualified lawyer, banker, and a mediator. He has an experience of over 35 years, which includes working with the premier public sector bank, which is Bank of India, which is an NBFC and merchant banker. The Tata Group Manufacturing and Export House, which is Tata International Limited, which is a US MNC, manufacturing and service company, HDFC Life Insurance Company, Godrej Agrovet Limited. So Atul has been ranked in top 100 GCs for 2020. He has been enlisted in the Forbes India in top GC list. He is currently employed with Schindler India Private Limited, which is a Swiss MNC, as Counsel GC, Compliance Officer and Company Secretary, India and Southeast NDPO. Thank you so much for joining us, Atul, today. And it's a pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank you very much, Vinay. Thanks for the opportunity and thank you for this kind introduction. So
pleasure is all ours, sir. Pleasure is all ours, and it's a pleasure to have you on the show. I'm sure our viewers are going to really make a lot of notes today because they will have so much to learn out of your rich experience of more than 35 years. And I will also be making some notes, so I have my pen and paper ready with me. so let's quickly jump into it. I'm very excited, and let's quickly talk about first of all, I want to ask you a tricky question here. So tell us about a complex legal issue you worked on. Describe the complexity and tell us how you approached it.
Okay, so you directly hit into the subject, and it's slightly tough question. Tough question in the sense we have got a confidentiality obligation. So first of all, before I start, let me put a disclaimer that today's whatever views I'm particularly sharing or experiences I'm sharing are my personal, and Schindler Group is not responsible for that. It should be my own voice and experiences, views. Because of confidentiality, actually, I will not be able to describe the current employment, say particularly case, but I can tell you there are many cases which we have done wonder and complex issues I have handled and gone through that tough situation of not sleeping in the nights for months together. So I will cite you one case. Actually, I joined one company as a legal head, and a news was reported after my joining that we have lost one case ex parte with the Consumer Forum. It's a particularly state level forum, and this news was reported, and we got a shock. And as you know, for the legal aid, losing of case is tough to particularly digest, but it is worse to digest that it is ex parte. Because then we are negligent, not only the particularly the competency issue, but we are negligent is bad issue. And make it worse is that it was reported in the newspaper. So I actually took out, there was no alternative, because when I checked with the business, we were not having the papers for that matter. And that is why it was not reported to legal, and then we lost ex parte. Now, I requested papers from the particularly court of the order, as well as the documents which are filed by the complainant and claimant. And thereafter, we checked our accounts, because finally, whenever any customer interacts, there are accounts are kept, though the documents may not be available, but payments and all, we can judge that what has happened on the contract. On the basis of that, I particularly read these papers many times and found 6 mistakes of filing in the particularly their filing. On the basis of the 6 mistakes, we filed the appeal, and with the ready to deposit the amount of the order, and court accepted without amount because they also apparently saw these 6 mistakes, and we won in the appeal. But it was a nightmare for at least 15 days for me, because as a legal head, let me tell you, there are many times it happens that our seat is also in a danger. Forget about the salary and bonuses, but sometimes we are also having the concern about our own existence in the company. but I was able to handle that situation very well.
Well, that's amazing, and that's absolutely a spot-on example of not really losing the hope until you have actually lost it.
Yes.
So most of the times, and this applies to every human in any industry, wherever you work for, whichever you work for. If you are an expert on something, you should never lose the hope until you have actually lost it completely, and you know that it's absolutely gone. So you were new to the job, you were new to the role, and you realize that there's a nightmare for me right in front of me, and you started working on it from the scratch. And one more thing that I would like to highlight here for my viewers is that you need to stick to the basics. So what Mr. Juvle did is that he made sure that he stick to the basic. He goes to the grassroots of that case, understands what is happening, and even if it was ex parte, he made sure that he kind of come back with a strong reply, and that's what really helped. Yes, Mr. Juvle, go ahead.
I want to add that whatever my learnings are there are a good number of learnings, and this learning I never forgotten till date. Every day, wherever I'm going, I'm putting it a practice that every week we check all the particularly courts, whether any case is coming up for hearing or anything which we don't know. That has helped me a lot. So I have not forgotten the learning that this could have higher. Particularly, it was not knowing was the problem. Losing the case, yes, it is a problem, but we can fight it out. But at the same time, not knowing the case itself is a serious problem.
Yeah, it was negligent, so it was absolutely at our end. But yes, you made the right choice to go back and check everything from the grassroots level, and you found that there were mistakes. All right, so I think that's a great example for our viewers. You can understand what needs to be done in such scenarios. And with that, I will quickly move on to the next question. Mr. Juvle, if we can talk about the pandemic a little bit. So I'm not sure if it's over yet or not, but the pandemic saw some courts moving towards more remote proceedings and availability. Is this sustainable and a possible way to increase justice, in your opinion?
Pandemic has given one great advantage is saving of travel time. And second great advantage is that everybody was forced to move to digital mode, whether you like it or not. And fortunately, everybody learned. The people learn to use mobile. Similarly, they learn to use also forcefully and digital way of working. According to me, this can be a future, particularly for all the litigations as a legal matters, and it is sustainable because all have moved to the digital platform. It would have been difficult if it would not have been moved to digital platform. Yes, there are few cases which will require physical hearing, but yes, we can 70-80% cases we can handle, and that forms a great extent of the litigations. So this is sustainable model. Not only that, everybody is benefited. For example, each one gets that added 1 to 3 hours per day of not losing the travel time. Even going for the court to court also, even if I take a Mumbai, the courts are in different jurisdictions, particularly in the Mumbai also, if I have to move from High Court to Bandra Court, it can take almost 1.5 hours. And if it is peak hour, it is 2 hours. So my travel time is reduced, and I'm sitting in office. I can attend any kind of hearing. I can give justice. Not only that, but senior counsels will be available all across India, particularly for the cases. So it benefits to the advocates, benefits to the particularly participants who wants justice. Because of digitalization, we can number the cases, and people will be able to hear more matters, and everybody is benefit. I will say yes, in a different format. So I think it is sustainable.
And with your opinion, I could also learn that it's sustainable and it is also efficient. Travel time is saved, obviously. Yeah, so travel time is saved, and you can probably look into more number of cases. And probably on the other side of the table, when it comes to the judiciary and judges and everything, they would also be able to spend more. They'll be able to spend their time more efficiently, I think.
Yes.
Okay, amazing. I'll move on to the next question on this. Thank you so much for sharing your insights on that one, Mr. Juvle. Now, let's talk about the current legal system. So how would you rate the current legal system drive towards encouraging access to justice? Is there a tangible movement in closing the justice gap in your opinion?
Yes, current judicial system is trying to bridge the gap, particularly. And if I take the particularly, see, last, if I have to check 4 5 years, the movements are good. But if I go for the 3 decades, and every decade the cases filed are reduced. Every decade, there is an improvement. We saw in the Arbitration Act implementation. Yes, initial there were teething troubles, and it is now becoming a good practice now, particularly where the arbitration clause is a common thing. Now the next in row is the particularly mediation, where mediation is also made clause available, and it will become a practice very soon, because in pandemic many people used mediation as a good practice because courts were not entertaining all the matters. Courts were not entertaining other matters. Then there was a financial, particularly limit was increased. So people were, this is one of the advantage of pandemic, that people move to the mediation. And now high courts are making it compulsory that at least one try should be there for mediation. Though mediation is not mandatory and compulsory binding, but at the same time, mediation is taking place in a good number of cases. Justice gap in the justice, actually, I will say yes, the infrastructure is developing. Then the situation, the particular ecosystem is also changing. But the what we want, actually, the speed is not still up to the mark. But I think the things are developing, and we should be particularly optimistic about it. So
Yes,
mediation,
absolutely.
technology, digital movement, I think this will bring, and it will be forced by the business itself. So one way is that government is making effort, and other way is that the other participants are also want that justice. So that's how the particular things will work.
That's absolutely a point taken. And I think we used to say necessity is the mother of inventions. A lot of inventions have taken place. Now I think necessity is the mother of innovation, because even if you make small innovations in the patterns, in the things that you have been really doing great, it can really improve, and the efficacy can be improved, and the results can be improved. And I think this pandemic, this digitization has also created a lot of bridge between those gaps, and it is really helping us out to really getting closer to the justice and getting justice much quicker. Yeah, absolutely. All right, thank you so much, Mr. Juvle, on that one as well. I'll move on to the fourth question. It talks about agility. So has become synonym of survival and growth. I'm talking about agility. How do you ensure yours agility? I mean, how do you take care of that?
So if I have to talk as a person, my personal things, one is the keeping fit. Now, keeping fit has got 3 aspects. One aspect is physical. First, physical. Second is mental. And third is social. Physical fitness is required because then you have energy to handle more matters. You can deliver 24/7, which is the industry demand. So physical fitness one should not overlook. This is the first parameter according to me. Second parameter is mental fitness. We have to remain updated. So normally I first 1 hour I spend in the day-to-day updates daily. Third one is the socially remaining engaged. So before that, again, I will put on the mental aspect. Mental aspect, one should know what you don't know, because then you can buy that, or you can go to the third person for that knowledge. So my first take is that one should know what he doesn't know or she doesn't know. And
That's very important.
And
That's
third
very
one,
important. That's the highlight for me, I'm sure. Please go ahead. I'm so sorry.
yeah. Third one is the socially remaining connected. Social remaining connected is an important thing. Making commitment, creating your particularly social bank balance is very important. People, we can call people at 11 hour and they will reply to that. That requires a social connect. So these 3, keeping fit is the first mantra for agility. Second one is I feel that we have to deliver more than speed to market as a legal. And And for that, deciding faster is very important. So deciding faster is another point which is agility is where agility can be ensured. And people come to us, which is just like as you go to family doctor and he says that no, you take this medicine. That's all. He doesn't go to the books of law, books of medicine. He immediately prescribes. So that the speed to delivery. Yes, sometimes we have to take a risk and we have to correct that risk immediately after that advice is given. So according to me, that gives me agile and always particularly fit to deliver. And there is one rule in rule I follow religiously is replying all the mails daily. Whatever mails I get, I don't keep it pet. So that's the one other. These are the 3-4 things I keep to keep myself agile.
Well, I think replying to emails is something that I also kind of can't sleep without doing, because otherwise it's going to be a nightmare. You never know if there is something which is pending in your mailbox, it could be a time bomb, and it might just explode while you're sleeping. So that's a very basic fundamental that all of us should follow. I mean, that's definitely a key takeaway for all of us. But I love the one when you said knowing what you don't know. I mean, a lot of times in our daily routine, when we're running behind our goals or our targets and everything, we forget about things that we don't know. And we keep thinking, we start thinking that, oh, I know everything. And as in when you move up to the ladder, that's very much important. And I'm sure people are making note of it. Thank you so much. I love this answer coming from you, Mr. Juvle. I'll move on to the last question of the session today. And let's talk about money a little bit. So time is money in any profession, and in legal, it's most of all. So how do you ensure to make the best of your time as a legal professional or as a lawyer?
So I will tell you I am fortunate enough to having got trained under Stephen Covey, 7 Habits. That's one. Second is I have not only read but digested well in my personal ecosystem 2 books. One book is Eat That Frog from Brian Tracy, and second book is uh, The Time Management Principles of the Successful People by Kevin Cruz. So I plan based on the Stephen Covey, I plan for a week. That is first. And I keep 5 days a week. So that 2 days are always a buffer for me if something is left out. And I target every day not more than 3 tasks so that I complete that. Sometimes it is not possible for a legal person because legal head is like their new problems keep on coming and they can take up your time. So in that case, 2 days are buffer for me. And I see that I keep myself particularly regenerating every week so that Monday I love to come to office. I never give Monday blues. So I am always excited to particularly Monday morning to come and have this particularly new weeks, to face new week. So that's how actually I believe the time management. Time management, I'm really suggesting the Kevin Cruz book. Simple, straightforward, self-help book. No jargons, nothing. Straight
Yeah,
15 principle.
Yeah, and I've read that book too, and I think the best part is that you have the frameworks available. So it really tells you what and how things needs to be done. No jargons, no robotic language is there. So it's all simple, plain English. You read it and understand it. Yeah, that's absolutely right. And I think I like the way you kind of narrated it. At your level, if things can be removed, I'm sure at times there will be chances wherein you will have a lot on your plate and you will not be able to remove anything because everything is important. But that's when those 2 days of buffer is available, and that's where it kicks in. All right, Mr. Juvle, thank you so much. Yeah, go ahead, please.
You said more on the table, more on the dish. I always tell them you need to have more on the dish to have your seat intact. So, so I always welcome more and more work. So
Absolutely.
something is left out, but we can plan the things better. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Juvle. Pleasure talking to you. And I'm sure we had so much to kind of learn out of this quick chat with you. So for viewers, if you like this chat with Mr. Atul Juvle, please like and share this video with your friends, your colleagues, your families who might be looking for such advices coming from such a gentleman. And we would love to kind of share more such content with you in the future as well. And if you want to get those notifications, subscribe to our channel, Clickaway Creators on YouTube. Thank you so much. This is Vinay signing off for LexTalk World.